I was just enjoying the view.
Now on to my third demo bike, the Kona Process 134DL. Now I've previously ridden the Kona Precept, and I was really looking forward to riding the Process, being the higher end of the Kona bikes. With 134mm out back, covered by the Rockshox Monarch RT, and 140 up front with the Rockshox Pike RC, and a Shimano SLX group set all the way to the brakes, and a KS-Lev Integra dropper with a Southpaw remote, this thing is set up for success. On paper, it fits me perfect, with a really short seat tube and a really long reach, actually 450mm on a medium, which is the longest I've tried.
Awesome.
Paired with a head tube of 67 degrees, which I think is the sweet spot, and a seat tube angle at a relatively steep 74.5 degrees, with really short chainstays at 426mm. This thing is long, slack, and should be really flickable out of the rear end. Kona only does aluminum processes, and for $3,600 with this spec, I think this bike offers a pretty good value. I've really come to appreciate the stiffness and plush performance of the Rockshox Pike, and it's really nice to see that on this bike. And although I don't think a lever-style dropper lever is necessary, it sure feels awesome. Definitely worth the upgrade, but it comes standard on the Kona, so that's great. The Shimano SLX drivetrain and brakes were smooth and reliable. It's something I've really come to expect from Shimano, and I like it. The only things that I would have changed with the spec was a longer dropper. For me, I could have fit a 150 or even a 170, and maybe put wider tires on it. It comes with Maxxis 2.3s, and I'd prefer a 2.4 or 2.5, but no big deal. The bigger gripe I have is that the only place to mount a water bottle is under the down tube. It's not really a usable place, and for me, it's a big deal to be able to mount a bottle inside the frame, as I like to ride with a small fanny pack and one water bottle. But with as short of a seat tube as it has and a low standover, they just couldn't fit it inside the frame. It is what it is. Those complaints aside, one thing I will say about the Process is that it was incredibly stiff and efficient. But in that order. Sometimes it was so stiff that it felt like a hardtail and it would break traction on the ups. Not really efficient. But it opened up reasonably fine on the downs. Now, it only has 134 in the back, and it sure felt like it. Sometimes less. Although I only bottomed it out a couple times on a moderate trail, it didn't feel as plush and supportive as most full suspensions. Maybe that adds to the playfulness that they're going for, but for me, a playful 110mm or even 120mm bike should still really utilize the full travel really well, with a lot of comfort and support in the mid-stroke. But I felt like the Process was either too stiff or blew through the travel really quickly. I had to put a lot of body English into riding this bike. Maybe it has to do with the pivot placement on the chainstay. I think it was seizing up the suspension during braking, causing it to feel too stiff while I was going down and braking. Or maybe I just need more time to dial in the rear shock, maybe with some volume spacers. Overall, I thought I was going to love the bike, based on reviews, specs, and geometry, but I ended up only thinking it was average, kind of okay. And if it was the only bike I had ridden, I'd probably think it was awesome. But that's why I'm demoing lots of bikes, to find out what I like and what I don't like. And I don't really like the Process 134. That's just my own opinion. Didn't feel right to me, so I'm moving on. Thanks for watching.